Hello and welcome. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. It is April the 30th, 2025. We've had a day of Supreme Court hearings. We have a day of ISL semifinals. And we will be talking about those things today. And just before I came live, Jamshedpur just scored. And let's see what happens. 89th minute, 90th minute already in that game. But let's start with what is happening. During the Curious Harry stream, a Russian fan was criticizing Salah for finishing one-on-one situation. Goal, he added that how can you for World Cup with such youngsters? I told him that he's obviously oblivious to the realities of Indian football. Indian football fans still don't. As that none of the youngsters coming through the youth levels of India present international, they believe that just by playing first team football, they will become international level players. The answer is simple to them. No matter how much first team football you play, if your basics aren't good, you will never be of international level. And this issue can only be solved at grassroots level through proper coaching under good coaches. After 16, no one will teach these things. Indian football fans still there's not a single Indian football youngster would make it to national. Even the likes of Chankdev would be used as a substitute. That's the reality of football. Here's a rather a tough one to discuss, and that shows you where we stand, where we are in these kind of discussions with the general Indian football fan, who seems to know that what is happening, how good are we, how bad are we, and the point to me is that has to be looked at. And if this kind of a player who is a fringe player gets a chance, plays and misses such things, that's normal, But judges celebrate the Supreme Court delayed AIFF constitution, also stalled AIFF, ISL, MRE, wants ISL to be disbanded. Such a shameless guy. So Robert, on one side, you're saying, oh, why is there no relegation? On the other side, you don't want relegation in the I-League. On one side, you say, oh, you know what? People are helping each other. They're making deals and all. What is it when you were made by Shaji team manager of the Indian futsal team? Isn't that nepotism as well of a certain period, of a certain kind? So that's the problem. Why is Supreme Court listening to these who want to cancel relegation in I-League? In theory, they have to listen to everybody. But my problem with the way that the Supreme Court is hearing the matter is, are they knowledgeable enough to really hear the matter? That would be my worry, and that is something which is the reality of such a hearing. I mean, it's very tough to listen to it because some of the stuff is just outright lies. People are lying in front of the Supreme Court. Lawyers, experienced lawyers, and so therefore, very tough to say something about those things. And and that's the reality of how things are or aren't. Reliance should just run away at this point if they have common sense, because now we're stopping them from making a deal. It is something which needs to be thought about, looked at, but let's see what they do, what they don't do. Thoughts on SC Goa? Sterling deserving finalist. The point here is, to me, I think the young Mohun Bagan squad didn't play bad, but two Dheeraj mistakes are two Dheeraj mistakes too many, and therefore they lost. If Khalid ball is so easy, why isn't everyone doing it and getting results? Sterling, the Khalid ball doesn't work everywhere, and it doesn't work every year, right? So that's one of the realities we have. Have to realize. It worked many years back in Aizawl. It has worked once in a while at Jamshedpur, but not always. Suhail has that hunger which I haven't seen in an Indian striker. Yeah, Sterling, let's hope there is that hunger, because if you had seen it earlier in the season, you would have questioned this. What is the reasoning behind this, and could you just summarize whatever is announced, please? I don't know what the reasoning is. I mean, to me, very, very clearly, what is evident from what I hear, what I see, is that the Supreme Court hasn't understood, and a lot of the lawyers talking the way they are, that that they haven't understood how a sporting body should be structured and run. They're coming, and that's the reality of things. And Mumbai City FC is out of the Super Cup. Let's see. Last minute, let's see what happens. Chelsea beat FC Goa twice in regular season and prediction on final. Sterling, it's a final. It's a one-off. Let's see what happens. What's your take on today's match with FC Goa over the youth guys? Angry Birds, overall, the more mature team won. But the experience of FC Goa got them through, and that is something which shouldn't be forgotten. Bajaj is trying to portray himself as savior. He thinks there are people who really are ready to put money, like Reliance Foundation, Young Champs. In reality, no one is there to put money, and his Tati Academy is nowhere near Asia. Yeah. Hi, Palash. Do you think Salahuddin Adnan proved himself as a backup option of Manveer Singh? I haven't seen enough of him to be really saying. Yeah, could be, but yeah. Elections will be held. No new extension of MRA allowed. The desires is not be extended. A long, hard battle is finally won. So also happy today the change is finally gonna happen. Guess who said this thing in Twitter? Aditya. I think everyone who's here will know that who said this. And disappointing to say the least. To see what has happened. We are where we are. It's a disappointing scenario. I really don't know. Disappointing. Disappointing to say the least. But these people think that they're right. They think they're doing the right things where actually they're not. I think that's the scary part in all of this. That where we are at this moment in time, that we are in a very, very dark place, so to say, with all that is happening. Disappointing to see that this is given an importance in the courts of India, be it Supreme Court, be it Delhi High Court, be it other courts. So that, for me, then raises the questions of, are these courts actually qualified to do? Should it be in the jurisdiction? Indian football will face many problems till July. Supreme Court verdict came in. AIFF cannot take any decision till July. No negotiation with FSA. Fresh elections will affect most of the ACL group stage. Who cares about Mohun Bagan Super Giant in ACL2 group stage? Sorry, SB Sports Extremes. Really? I mean, is that your problem? Is that the problem of Indian football? Right? I mean, the reality is we're talking about the existence of Indian football. If the reality of one individual club doesn't matter at this moment of time. We have to talk about the whole scenario. I want to ask you this, Arunda, something about Praful Patel. I know he's a bad person, but do you think his ego of not resigning 22 partially killed his legacy as a good administrative person? How do you know he's a bad person? Just asking, how do you know that he's a bad person? Would be my question. How do you know Praful Patel personally? Have you met Praful Patel personally? How do you make that judgment, right? So, no, I don't think he was supposed to resign, and it was never in the jurisdiction of the COA, and that is the whole problem. The Supreme Court then made a mistake, and they've not learned from the mistake. Is this going to be stored for next year? Because how can July verdict give us the minimum time to prepare for ISL dates and everything? Anyways, at the moment, there is no ISL. There is no ISL. And I've said this. This warning sign has been there now for a while. I've said this multiple times, that you want to talk about ISL, there is no ISL. I at least have said it. I don't know if other people have said it. I have said it multiple times over the last year that, yeah. So therefore, these are realities. Ren says, I respect Zoravar's opinion, but bro, is not like origin players and local players were given same quality physical education. You're literally comparing apple to oranges. Ren, but that's not the question. The question is, who would be best to represent India, right? So, yeah. Onolda, why is the Supreme Court not hearing from you? Why are you not a party of this? Parash, there are 2-3 things. First of all, who am I that the Supreme Court needs to listen to me? First thing. I tried my luck 3 years ago around this time, tried to avoid the FIFA ban, tried to explain to a lot of people, and they didn't want to understand it, and we walked into the FIFA ban, literally. I've also learned not to poke my things into things which in that way I can't influence. That's the situation with the Supreme Court. They followed there. There are people who still believe that ISL is the problem of Indian football. Yes, Ravan, those people are the problem. The ISL is by far not perfect, but yeah, that's it. Do you think players like Jan, Dylan, etc. would still make into English period if they were born in India and had Indian football education? No, of course not. Daniel, they will not make it into the English pyramid. How will they make it into the English pyramid if they were born and brought up in India and Indian football? Is the Pendu good enough to be a starter now? And what do you think of Suhail and what experience? No, the Pendu is still not a starter for me. If you've got 2 foreigners, those 2 foreigners will play. And of Suhail, yeah, he's done well in this tournament. Can he do it in the ISL? I'm not sure. Jamshedpur FCF finally went to Super Cup final, first time of its history. Okay. At last, FC West Jamshedpur ceases Frank. Okay. Don't know how long Khalid Jami will do this nonsense possession-based football instead of his actual direct football strategy. Defeated Mumbai City with 6 goals. What's this, man? Okay. Good evening, Gyan Rare. But Barajman said that Ranjibai had wanted election to happen in since Praful has been there since 2009. So that's the thing. Or how was he allowed to make a constitution? Aditya, why would someone, he's been around for the last 10 years. He wasn't even there in 2009. So factually wrong. And to remove Praful on the reasons given makes no sense, because to me the sports code doesn't help us. I know that there are other sporting bodies which are much, much worse. Yeah, but where are we going with this? Oh my God, then we're officially. We are been doomed for a while, Angry Birds. I don't know who's going to save us now and take us out of this, but this is, yeah. But just happy today because till July there can't be MRA signing an ICE extension. He thinks he has saved in football now, but all of us know that what he has done. Naveen, he's done that, but also if he now goes to court and says, listen, I don't want relegation, right? Even that, AIFF can't take a decision. And there is no allowance to go to that. And I think, someone or the other should actually take the Supreme Court to task for violating football regulations. I would like to see that. I think the Indian Supreme Court needs to be taken to task for violating the laws of sport, overstepping their jurisdiction. I think someone needs to do that. So finally, I says no more, and now things going to be more worse. Yeah, the moment as it stands, yeah. So everything finished, no possibility. I said, I don't know if there is a possibility, but without a discussion on the MRA, without a discussion on the future, without anything, the real possibility is that there is no ISL. Enjoy Saturday's final between FC Goa and Jamshedpur FC, because what is going to come after that, yeah. Also, how good was the consideration he made? I watched one of his streams yesterday. He said that it was the best consideration of corrupt people would be there and would make Indian football great. And when a corrupt says no corrupt people, how is it going to be good? Aditya, just think. If the crook says there will be no crooks and he himself is a crook, how will it be good? They are manipulating the system for their advantage, right? The problem is that nobody else in Indian football cares about this. Hyderabad relocating to Delhi, do you think it's a wise move, sir, in context of Indian football? Kiran, it doesn't matter if I think it's a wise move or you think it's a wise move. These people are from Delhi. And they want the club to be based close to where their base is. So they're going to do that. There is no logic to this or a wise move or not a wise move. Yeah. Did not follow up with the Supreme Court verdict today. What all has the Supreme Court stalled AIFF from taking the next year and post this sound break? So that's no key, no key decisions can be taken. So de facto, it says that the current AIFF can't take any decisions. You have to hold elections, and then the new AIFF can take a call on things. I think that's the summary of things from today's hearing, I would say. Right? That's the reality of where we are stuck today. Is that the Supreme Court said, you know what, you guys don't take a call. We will do whatever needs to be done post a certain election. That's where we are at this moment in time, I would say. Yeah, that's where we are stuck. Supreme Court scolded Mr. Kuta's club AFC for lying over so many things. What does it help? Have they given them a fine, a judgment, a penal code or something of the sort? No, it didn't. Right? That is what is needed. Right, nearly 20 minutes on this 30th of April, on this Wednesday evening, live here on my channel. 9 likes so far. Thanks a lot, guys. If you're liking what you're hearing, do leave a like behind, share with others. And those of you who might be new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. The real, honest conversation on Indian football happens on this channel. The real talk happens here, nowhere else. So therefore, do join the channel, be part of the community. Thanks a lot for that. So now the ISL not happening next season seems like a real possibility. Achut, it has been a danger for a while. And this is something which nobody wants to accept. I've been saying this for a year, right? You know? So therefore, yeah, we've been in this mess for a while, in this complicated mess for a while, I would say. And now things have gone from bad to worse. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. But to me, at the moment, if you ask me at this moment in time, this danger has been there for a while, as I've said. The danger that there won't be any ISL. And that has become more and more likely to have no ISL because given of the circumstances at this moment in time. So does the clubs have any say in this deal? Like, can clubs come up and tell their say in this? Not at the moment. Isn't it third-party interference with Supreme Court? Per se, I would say yes. By not allowing the AIFF to work, that is third-party interference. Now, this is a deep mess. How to come out of it? The Supreme Court would have to take a step back, which it won't do. We've not learned our lessons in 3 years, no? To the Honorable Justices, someone would have to say, sir, gentlemen, that whatever you've done, this is not there. This is not under you. This Churchill Brothers Interkashi saga looks funny now. Where they will get promotion now? Kiran Rare, promotion is one thing. I think it's also clearing who's champions of the I-League. Because to me, yeah, at the moment, I don't even know if we have I-League next season. Right? So I don't know what kind of league we'll have next season, what kind of setup we'll have, if we have something. Because the AIFF can't plan, can't work, right? So when will elections take place? Sterling, no idea. So let the Supreme Court decide on the constitution first and then the election. They've been delaying this and taking no call. Stopping a federation from making decisions like signing MRA, deal with FSTL, and no key decision in football affairs is a third-party interference ban coming there. Prithviraj, that's what my feeling is. Clubs run by corporates don't want to agree with AIFF model for sure for upcoming things. I think some of the corporate clubs will, I know multiple entities that they would consider, if Reliance no longer is there, of not being part of Indian football anymore. And we're not talking ISL clubs, we're talking I-League clubs, we're talking I-League 2 clubs. People are willing to say, you know what, thank you very much, we tried. Ranjal, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea, because the Supreme Court has to tell us when the election is, no? When these honorable gentlemen think the election should be. Uppsala. Sorry, seem to have connectivity issues today. Sorry for that. Can probably come back. Bernard, I don't think it's part of his plans. How about you make a video on this, end up putting light on this whole 2022 thing that happened at that moment, including what led to the FIFA? Yeah, Aditya, I'm thinking about doing something like that, yeah. Why someone is not appealing to a fast verdict on this messy thing? Yeah, could be done. I don't know how much of a fast verdict would have of an influence on the whole thing, right? So I'm not sure if a fast verdict is really what is wanted, what is needed at this moment in time. When will FIFA step in? When will government step in? Government has nothing to do with this. Government is a party to this whole thing because the sports code has come from the government. So the government is actually influencing the whole thing indirectly. FIFA, I don't know, FIFA could move swiftly or maybe take its time as well and go on summer holidays like the Supreme Court. So it's supposed to do in 2025. I guess I'll return back to supporting Barcelona. I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly don't know. I think nobody can tell you. Hope FIFA bans AIFF now for at least 10 years, says Rawar. What is the update on AIFF constitutional case? So we've been talking about this. At the moment, the Supreme Court has said thank you very much and now go on summer holidays. See you in 3 months. And in that meantime, don't take any decisions, AIFF. If FIFA bans at this time, our football will go back in past at least for 5 years. I don't even know if a FIFA ban is the worst thing. To be very, very honest, maybe the FIFA ban might be the right thing, depending on if FIFA appoints the right person as the normalization committee head, and that person with the sane head on his shoulders, pushes through a few things which are needed for Indian football. I'm not even sure if that's the worst thing to happen. I think the mistake in 2022 was that people rushed through the whole situation and appointed people, and it didn't work. Law of sports will always be above law of the land. Yes, Aditya. So is FIFA ban is incoming? Let's see. in theory, it looks like it. I can't tell you yes or no at this moment in time, but I would say, yeah, it is possible. Is the constitution drafted? I don't think it's still finally drafted because people are making amendments and other things. Will Professor do a remote Tanda and come back and sign the MRA? Football is a magical game at the end of the day. Well, you've asked this now, I think, how many times over the last few weeks, and I think no, I don't think Professor Patel is interested or will come back as president. This is the only Raymond Tanda I can Raymond Tada I will get behind. Okay, so it's basically the same they did a few years back, leading to FIFA ban. Hope this time the ban is more than 3 years. But Robert, let's wait and see. To me, yeah, let's wait and see. Good evening, Fafu, Kentucky. Someone take Supreme Court of India to cast for the interference in FIFA matter. Yes, they can actually. That's a possibility. We've had a situation, I think, with the Brazilians a while back that their highest court, if it's called Supreme Court or something else. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Don't you think it will be a bit chaos for planning next year, as I said, if it exists in football calendar, other football competition, everything is held up till July after fresh elections? SV Sports Extremes, exactly my point. That's why when you talked about Bagan and AFC Champions League 2 far away, we're talking basics. Forget just ISL. You mentioned it, the football calendar, right? I don't even know how they're going to clear budgets and all that stuff that they need for certain things. Fresh elections, are they happening then? I don't know. How quickly are they happening? Because if we've got a decision in July, and it looks likely the fastest that they could, if we go by the normal timeline, would most probably be end of July. So we're talking about 3 months. So we're not getting an election before August, maybe even September. So what happens to Indian football in the meanwhile? Hi, Akash. AIFF urgent needs strong personality, close to ruling party with good decision making, not useless powerless people like Kollan. Yeah. I mean, that's the video that I made today. That's why, AIFF needs new capable leadership, maybe capable, powerful leadership in that way. Otherwise, we are going nowhere. And that is something which is very, very worrying to see at this moment in time. That we are not progressing the way I think and feel we need to, right? That's a big problem, and the challenges are there. Challenges are there to be seen, and the question is, who is that person that can stand in that position to take a call? I don't know what I am supposed to do. This ISL thing, no matter how much we abuse, at the end of the day, was something we had as a first layer of football. But no, I guess we cannot have good things in India. Well said. So that's the thing. FIFA man might not be the most bad thing. How cooked are we? I think it might be the best thing. Who will provide money to AIFF? No one, Nadine. Who should? I think Baichung will contest again in the election. Unlike last time, Baichung must come with actual plans of his in front of media. All the candidates must show their plans instead of talk taking. Oh, Akash. Dreamland. Baichung said that the Adanis are ready to come forward. Where are the Adanis? Bhutia said Adanis are interested to come forward. Where are the Adanis? Do you think that the Adanis will go against the Ambanis? That they're interested? Adani Sportsline? No, Adani Sportsline wasn't even interested to start a football team. Law of the land and law of sports is different. Of course it is different, but law of sports stands above the law of the land, Nadeem. How bad is the situation that we're hoping Profil to return? Remember when he left into we all thought that, yeah, finally the has fallen. We'll get actual good people. Aditya, and that is exactly what I said in 2022 to certain people. I said, Um, mm, yeah. What? I can't even say. Sometimes even I am speechless now to see what we've seen now. What has happened is just insane to think that we've gone down this path. Uh, and people out of self-interest are willing to harm the game, to kill the game, yeah, to misuse their own influence and powers. So yeah, this is why corporations would want to invest in Indian football. So much uncertainty, so much chaos. Yeah, yeah. Guten Abend, Simon. Good evening. Are we towards a non-footballing year in India in 2025? Or there's some hope down this dark tunnel. Uh, um, I don't know. Honestly, Simon, today I don't know. And it could be we could be heading for at least for a few weeks of no football. Um, yeah, let's wait and see. Supreme Court is the highest court. CAS can do nothing. It's Supreme. Nadeem? Again, we've had a few things where people have tried to argue with me on this, and if I say that I can challenge the Supreme Court of India, I can challenge the government of India at CAS. I can challenge any government, any court in the world in front of CAS when it's a sporting matter. Just believe it, right? Friendly advice. Don't, I'm not in the best of mood today with this rubbish of people that you've even supporting in the last few days. Hi, methamphetamine absolute dismal gameplay today by Mumbai City needs a lot of thinking next season. Yeah, but I mean that team reaching the semi-finals is already a big achievement. These are not jokes to be done, Aditya, right? So next time, please don't do that. Coach, hi sir. When today we face the rest of dilemmas for future of Indian football, the real stakes are out and open, celebrating ISL not happening for now. I love you, but yeah, Coach, I've said that. I've said that these people don't care about Indian football. They care about themselves, and yeah. Hope necessary clearances budget have been approved for the Thailand friendly and the various age group continent competitions. That's my other thought, Uchut. What happens with budgets and clearances? Because if I was Reliance, I would also think if I would be pumping money into the AIFF after all of this. Are we progressing backwards? Yes, Akash, of course. And all these individuals who say, we're doing this, we're doing that. We've not. Thankfully, I watch European football, so no issues for me, says Rawar. These people are making very obvious now they are very well wishers of Indian football, like China is a freedom of speech. Gosh, good one. FIFA, then bye-bye national team, bye-bye Asian Cup, bye-bye ISL, bye-bye AFF. Honestly, only following Indian football, unlike others who may follow European football rigor. So I think I'm done with this. Prithviraj, I hope not. I cannot even trust Baichung anymore. I cannot trust anyone anymore. Aditya, that's why I say I don't trust anyone in the system. I trust very, very few people. ISL created an aura and legacy, and if new league comes, it's going to be difficult to create any football identity again. Yeah, but any new football entity which comes, would someone spend as much of money that has been spent on the ISL on that new football entity, right? Shaji met Adani. Met Adani's dress history. Yeah, interesting, yeah. Indian football be like Khatam, Tata, bye-bye, Khatam, Sab Khatam, says Simon. I think this time might get more votes with ex-players and general body. Did the ex-players last time also vote for him? There were ex-players in the old body, right? It's not about ex-players voting for this or that. What to say. Why can't we have professional people with actual experience in sports management? Akash, that's what I've been saying, right? Yeah. In theory, can sports ministry run the league? Utsav, the sports ministry can't run sports. How are they going to run a football league? And why would they run a football league? It's not there, Yeah. Scooter will contest AIFF election as executive member. We know that by now, but he will have to sell his club for that, right? You can't contest and own a club at the same time. You can, because you have Valanka Alemao, who is part of Churchill Brothers, being in the so this whole holding double positions, triple positions, and all is actually not a problem, because in the it happens. I always say Reinhard Raubal, Dr. Reinhard Raubal, who's a lawyer, was the president of Borussia Dortmund. He was the chairman of the Bundesliga. He was the vice president of the German FA. And Dr. Raubal also was in some UEFA committee as well. From NFL to I-League to ISL, and then after ISL, I-League became joke, and now we're going backwards. Yeah, let's see. I don't want any players anymore in that federation, actual politician portfolio who would know what they're doing. Yeah. Kawasaki scored against Al Nassr 10 million. Interesting. I think Mumbai City did not want to win the game today in regular time. They wanted to head for penalties. I don't know what they wanted. I'm sure they wanted to win it, but again, Great, now they have to park the bus, but now not, and will concede again. Okay. Seriously lost the taste of enjoying the game after all this. European football is the only healthy drug to cure me and my depression. Simon, but if you see European football, I also say that, and look at the whole Real Madrid thing in Spain. Again, even there, the Spanish FA has not really taken a stand. La Liga has not taken a stand, and that's why, so yeah. You can challenge Supreme Court and CAS can order. Will Supreme follow the order? If not, what CAS can do? Supreme at least can order those CAS officials be charged for contempt of court, then can be charged in India. I think, Nadeem, at some stage, if CAS takes the Supreme Court to the cleaners, first of all, it's an international embarrassment. If Supreme Court of India charges officials of CAS, again, don't forget, India also wants to supposedly, I'm saying nowadays, I love to say that, wants to host the Olympics. They're moving further away because India as a sporting entity is seen as Wild Wild West, because the IOC has told the IOA what to do. Those things have not been implemented by a certain joint secretary called Kalyan Chaubey. FIFA has told Supreme Court and AIFF what to do in 2022. That has not been implemented. And it could be real serious trouble. So I think that should be seen in a way. But again, in India, who cares about law at the end of the day, right? So therefore, but again, who am I trying to explain this to? I'm really, I don't know. I wonder what Punjab wants to achieve by all this. Be relevant in some sort of formal way, despite failures across the board, I think Indian football stuck with past glory and Maidan give hope to them. And we don't even have, So how much does it cost to run ISL for 1 year? I think the ballpark figure would be 100 crores a year. What do you think? Yeah, so about 100 crores is, So, yeah. But why did Supreme Court stop AIFF from signing MRA? Hannibal, I think they're saying their logic is that the Supreme Court, the current AIFF should have been an interim body, should have, called for an election, which they couldn't do because the Constitution has been in the Supreme Court for 3 years, right? And yeah, they are stopping them. Forget the MRA. They are stopping them from actually doing things which could be harmful in the way. Maybe it's a great reset. Less money means lower wages for players, so they would be forced to move abroad. Utsav, no, again, Utsav, I've been telling this for weeks now. Who will take an Indian footballer abroad? Who? Why would someone take an Indian footballer abroad? I would not bring in an Indian footballer even for free to Germany at this moment in time because they don't have the quality. Wake up from that dream that our players are capable of stuff, right? Singapore League with live telecast on YouTube, low viewership, but yet they're doing progress in other lines. City FC also reached a knockout of AFC. AIFF need to learn something from them. It's again rare, not only AIFF, the whole system. Why are the clubs, why are the entities, why are others not represented today in the Supreme Court? Why are they not there to fight for their own lives? Yeah, that is something where I think we need to actually we should be talking about that why things are not going the way they could, should, need to. Do you find politicians running sports body problem that they've done any good thing? Can we say the government exemption for petrollers? Murali, we've spoken so often about this. Some politicians are doing something, a lot of them are not. Is a politician better? Is a bureaucrat better? Is a businessman better? It is on the individual, right? And but it is, yeah. Do you think parents often have hope that their child played top level, but they won't understand India football system function? Yeah. A lot of parents think that their kids can play abroad. Does Baichung Bhutto also post FSD MRA? Yes, it seems like Abhishek Baichung, from what has been said by his lawyer today, is opposing it. I rarely watch European football. Answer was my daily bread and butter, says Hannibal. So is there an eligible career to stand for president position? Is it going to have a playing background? No. No playing background, but it would be interesting to see what the criteria now would be. I was seeing an old match poster by Manchester United of them playing against Real Madrid clips of 2008. Felt heavenly football. Okay, Odisha government is not exemption. They have been pumping a lot of money before, but do not ask much accountability of that money being spent in many cases, said Prithviraj. Guess why the current Odisha government did not sign MOU with Odisha FC? There were many clauses that were not implemented by Odisha FC, yet previously the MOU was still being signed. Out of 100, what are the chances that the relegation is stopped in I-League? 0. If things go the normal way, 0. Will not be surprised if Vajat fired AIFF election wants to be part of the system. Akash, he will never be part of the system. That is one thing that I can show you that people will not vote him into power. That's a given. That I can guarantee you. So according to which national sports association is doing good work, honestly, in my opinion, Hockey India only. Rugby. Forget, again, Hockey India has its own set of problems. NRAI, I don't know that much about, but I would say rugby is doing well under Rahul Bose. And Prithviraj is going to get signed on what he says. Why India always had federation association issue? They go to courts. It takes minimum 10 years, generation lost. Good question. I don't know. I'm from North and clearly can say something called leaders in North don't understand the football and yet want full control. Examples of Bajaj Naktali of AIFF, yeah. Quite a few of them. I love and follow rugby too. Rahul Bose is rugby president doing wonders in terms of management promotion next month. Rugby Premier Leagues 7, Rugby League 7 is coming. Yeah, that's in June, not next month. Yeah. People, if it's so easy to go to foreign leagues, of course it is. If it's put in yeah, that's a nice one. Utsav should read my first comment on the single Indian footballers of Asian level, let alone European. Yeah. Sadio Mane scores for Al Nassr. It's 1-1 now. Says Glenn Ray. Raul said they are planning for one of the best professional rugby leagues in Asia. Hats off to Rugby India. Yeah, Akash, but on the other side, it's a sevens. So I think if I was right, I was speaking to some people. It is the first sort of that kind of a sevens league. But again, it's not a league again for me. Again, it's more of a tournament, and that is something we need to get out of in Indian sports, right? To run proper leagues. How was the Mumbai City versus Jamshedpur match? Roshan, not the best. Jamshedpur had, Jamshedpur had better of the chances, but yeah. What do you think certain cannot break certain region or part of country? Sorry, didn't get that question. Can Ranjit Bharat sneak into AIFF president is something that's going to happen or do for a lot of years. I don't see that happening, but yeah. So Vaichav also would harm Indian football. Abhishek, in what ways Baichung more or less qualified than Kalyan Chaube would be my question. As a friend, I would tell Bhutia, please don't do it, if you ask me. Odisha FC owner and management is very sketchy. It seems owner is kind of blackmailing Odisha government, saying, if you don't agree, we will leave, says Akash. Okay. It could be the reasonable person for being president in your view. Abhishek, there are 2 or 3 people that I have in mind, but I'm not going to talk about the public. Can't even defend my club anymore, and I feel so drained of energy after coming home from watching Jamshedpur versus Mumbai City FC. Okay. Have you seen the Mohun game Super Cup? Any players who stands out? Madam 15. Goa controlled most of the season. Bagan tried a few things. In a negative way, I would say Dheeraj stood out and did exactly what I say. Dheeraj is a good goalkeeper most of the time on the line, but if he has to come out, he has a problem, and that he proved again. Forget Asian Avenue for the group in South Region Leagues. Andrea says Raul Bose is that actor, right? Yes, the actor is Raul is an actor, but he's a former rugby player, captain even for India, and he's running the federation in a very, 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 very good manner. Yeah, it's going to get signed, but my point was regarding how money or service given for free were not accounted for before, or one example was OFC, I guess, related with all this mess. Yeah. Hi, Blue. So, Supreme of India is actively killing Indian football. How surprising. Summer vacation. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, we've been speaking about it now, and I just feel deflated, disappointed with what all has been sort of happening. So to me, these are things that are happening, and I don't know. I don't know where we're heading with all of this. I think that's just insane to think that we are where we are, and things are yeah. Sorry, Uppala. Ranjit all said to contestation, all he needs is support, which he will get because it's prerequisite crooked to be an AIFF. I don't think he will. Because you have to have been active in a state association. I don't see him getting into Punjab or into Delhi. So yeah. Japan classic example development football in their transition period in the 2000s. Yeah, started in the 90s. Rugby India under Rahul Bose is delivering a sport with almost zero following in India. Most people even didn't hear. Then rugby is well managed and now it is second most popular sport in India. Okay. I'm talking about sports cannot break certain region. I just cannot. Okay, yeah, Murali can. A person who want to see Mr. Bhuta as leader of AIFF if he's just like shadow of Kalyan, Mr. Chaube. Yeah, which is the best place that the government can do so that besides that last night, 5 World Cup anyway. So if they're so poor in quality, why run the league and national team instead focus on other sport? Are we better in other sports? In India, for power, people will do anything. Take Modi, for example, killed merit today by supporting caste census. Reservation in football incoming. Let's see. Instead of group, I want to see our players will do struggle in South region leagues. That's the thing. Booted enough harm on his image by aligning politically. You know what I'm saying, says Akash. Okay, do you remember Ilano? Chennai FC take to police station for press with contempt. Do you think it showed in a football image narrative? Of course. I was there. I remember I was actually there. Someone called me over. I saw Ilana sitting on a chair, people taking selfies with him. It was just embarrassing. Yeah. I feel bad about other sports teams in India like basketball and volleyball. Indian teams, they play their heart out and so less money without any such league, so they don't get enough support. Yeah, I mean, on one side, yes, but maybe less money is good. Again, in most sports, yeah, the salaries, you know, Dheeraj being the best player for FC Goa after so many days, peak deja vu, just banter. Dheeraj will be back. Kaushik, it's a problem for the boy, huh? It's not happened the first time. It is most probably not happening the last time. It's an issue for Dheeraj that he's had these performances, where he is unable to, to deliver when it's needed. And if he wants to be a number one somewhere, he can't play like this. The penalty is why? Yeah. I like how the rugby guys got Bose, who's a player but handling the federation directly, but job is this complete opposite. Maybe in a focus like that in rugby. I mean, let's experience wala chalega. Aditya, Rahul Bose wasn't gotten in. Rahul himself got himself involved. He's not just an actor. He is he's someone who is intelligent, and he is more, as I say, not only a sports person or an actor. He's more than that. He's also a business person, and in that way, he fulfills a lot of things. Dheeraj lost the momentum from that start AFC Champions League performance. I still hope he can make a good comeback, maybe national team after the mess ends. There's something, but he needs game time. Prithviraj, at the moment, if I look at him, he's far, far away from being a national team goalkeeper. He's far, far away being a first team goalkeeper in any ISL team at this moment, right? And if you think that Manolo got rid of him of last summer, today was the proof that Manolo's decision was right. Nearly 55 minutes on this Wednesday evening. Once more, the reminder, if you haven't, so 23 likes so far. Thank you. 18 likes so far. Thank you very much. Sorry. And yeah, share with other people to join in. Subscribe to the channel. We're at 2,500 plus. Slowly growing the community as long as we have Indian football. And yeah, let's see what happens. Indian women's are doing good in baseball. Okay. I was talking to Ali Club president. He said Bajaj is all set for executive Mumbai elections. Let's see if he thinks he can get in there. Interested to see who's going to vote him in. Personality also matters. Bose was captain. He knows most people didn't even heard the name rugby. That's why he generally wants to do good for rugby. Akash on one side, yes, but Rahul Bose is a personality. Like Kalyan Chaubey, as such is a nice guy, but Kalyan Chaubey is not an outgoing guy and someone that you would push somewhere, right? So just because you don't value cricket doesn't mean we're not good in any sport. What about kabaddi, chess, hockey? It's a who cares about cricket success? And I'm not talking about me, right? Um, so therefore, yeah, kabaddi is not a global sport. Chess is not even a sport in my opinion. Hockey is, but hockey is also a fringe sport, right? It's an amateur sport, for example, in Europe, and these guys are as good or better than India. AFC Champions League and Cup was so interesting till it was happening in different parts of the world. Now things with Middle East and now especially Jeddah become quite boring. Okay, Gionre is going to be a starter soon for an ISL club. I really feel he will be back. Let's hope so. Chess is not a sport, says Zonavar. We're back to the old where there was no broadcast, live telecast, or national team will be at the last moment, if at all. James Donich, how good there he was. One of many foreigners who came and went. I wouldn't rate him too highly. Oops, Sana, sorry. Ich versuche, meine Deutschkenntnisse zu testen, Sir. Was könnte das Beste sein, was dabei rauskommen könnte, basierend auf Ihrer Einschätzung? Simon, try and learn German by, going to German class, I would say. Unless I missed the sit-in for 10 minutes. Have you felt that AFC is biased towards Saudi? Think about it. They chose to allow all foreigners in club competitions when Saudi League boomed. Didn't do so when Chinese League was also at its peak. Methamphetamine, I said a few days ago, I don't think they're biased towards the Saudis. The Chinese never had the number of foreigners that the Saudis had, but it's a general discussion that was had in the AFC with the clubs. And a number of clubs across Asia wanted it. It's not just the West Asian, but some of the Southeast Asian clubs. I think the East Asians weren't too keen of it, but Southeast Asia was keen on it to have as many foreigners as possible. So, yeah, that's it. Kawasaki score, says Banjab. I think I'll try my best to get Odisha FC home away and special jersey before all this ISL ends. I want to at least die before collecting everything. What I love in ISL. A couple hours again, this closing. Sorry. Kawasaki get the lead now. It's 2-1. Al Nassr mid blunder after missing sitters is getting rare. Ego said they have arranged horrible travel schedule in Asian Cup in China. Okay. Yeah, then they did. Also, are you in favor of having an Indian club feeding all its foreigners for continental competitions? But amphetamine, it depends on what the rules are. If we would play Champions League elite, and that's the rule, and look at the standard we have, right? Yeah, I would play with 11 foreigners. What are the criteria for global sports? Is audience interest or money involved? Not about money. It's more about interest, I would say. Court said today election AIFF will happen under court's direction. What about FSNF master? That's on hold. I think that can only happen under the new AIFF, if I understand it right. Utsav recently, Kevin De Bruyne mock cricket said no one follows it in Europe. This angered Indian cricket fans and they started abusing Kevin and saying boycott football. So, but again, Indians will never understand cricket. Again, I won't even be able to tell you, So, yeah, why worry about that? From 2009 to 2035, how much would you rate Diego Mauricio and Carlos Delgado? What? A 6, maybe a 7 out of 10. We have streaming of youth league matches. Why worry about top league? Nadeem, we will not have those kind of things in the next season. If you want to understand that. Because the problem will be that if Reliance is no longer there and those 50 crores are no longer there, the AIFF will have to cut down on things. Where will they start cutting down? In the women's game, in the youth game, and the grassroots. So all of these streaming, theming that they're doing at the moment, all of that will be gone. They'll cut it down to a minimum. Do you think actually anyone cares about cricket? Good question, Aditya. Total mess in AIFF and Indian football. Chobe should resign immediately. I think never has been this bad, shameful. Whoever comes now in AIFF will struggle big time to clear up this mess. Yeah, Shamandri, very right. Very right. If FIFA actually actively following the AIFF and SC case, Prithviraj, they've been kept updated. Someone or the, yeah. So, yeah, they're following it. Many people laugh at me, but too many European and Arab clubs creating big difference and gap between other Asian clubs, even Japanese clubs, to struggle against them. Yeah, that's a point. You're under. No, sir, I meant to say, based on the recent developments in the SC hearing, what could be the best possible outcome for all of this? Tried to convey this in German. Okay, that was you tried to convey this in German. One second, let me just read that again. Acha, okay. Yeah, you have to, if you're writing German, Simon, you have to mention what it is about. You have to mention somewhere, at least in short, SC or something, a Supreme Court or something. Otherwise, I don't know. It sounds a very generic thing that you've written. The best possible outcome could be, I think at some stage, someone needs to have a conversation with the Supreme Court, as I've said. You have to try and figure out what can be done in the interest of Indian football. A new constitution is something which we need 100%. We need a new AIFF 100%. What are the eligibility criteria? And is that constitution conform with FIFA and with the IOC charter? Because fixed represent, for example, one point which has never been picked up, why are the clubs not represented? In the federations that I know, the clubs are the key stakeholder in the federation and the league, right? So why, for example, is the ISL not represented in the AIFF Exco? Why are the clubs via the ISL not represented in the Exco? So, so therefore the constitution has a lot of flaws. So you value a sport, a real sport, if Europeans consider it? No, I don't. But if a sport, as you say, if cricket is as big as people say, but forget Europe. How many people in South America care about cricket? How many people in North America care about cricket? How many people in Africa care about cricket? How many people across Asia care about cricket? Cricket is not a big sport in that way. With Club World Cup coming, Asian teams will need unlimited foreigners. I was having chat with second division England player. I asked, did you attend any big team trial like Premier League Chelsea? He said, no, it's so easy to attend. He said, because I was born in England, not easy. Okay. How do you rate FC Porto under Jose Mourinho? Murali, top team, Cricket is irrelevant sport accepted, says Zorawar. Aditya says, brother, a real sport is something that everyone follows, not only one region. Then do you consider polo a global sport? And Utsav, is England, Australia, Western East, South Asia not considered people living in Europe and American stamp of approval? There is not a stamp of approval, but it's field hockey is more of a global sport than cricket, even though field hockey per se, but yeah. For example, I would never say that American football is a global sport. Diego Mauricio is among top 5 strikers in India last 6 years. Not sure. I think there were better ones. Cricket involvement in Olympics, your thoughts? Not an Olympic sport for me. No, no one in Australia and England know about cricket. Only a few part knows that too. Only the summer sports is like a picnic. Do you think, apart from South Asia, a few countries, cricket is desperate again? Yes, it is. Today, Al Nasser is playing with 7 foreigners. All right, good that you've noted. Simon. Hi, Stephen. Welcome back. Do you find difficult saying hard things in front of the Federation or the AIFF? After that, you think your contact record? See, I've been very honest with people, but I say it in their face. I don't, I'd rather say it in their face than using a tweet or using public forums or whatever, right? And I think that's a lot of people value it. But I know that people are scared of someone like me because I think there's no other person in Indian football who's as honest, as knowledgeable. Yeah. Some people will say that I'm very arrogant now by saying that, but that's what that's the feedback that I get. You want to argue on a point? Let's argue on a point, right? But if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. I will. And someone like Ranjit is very difficult to argue with because he doesn't know and he argues with you and he's trying to sell you a point which is wrong. And he's, especially ahead of the FIFA ban, this guy is not capable of understanding. That's the problem. And therefore, yeah. Has a football ecosystem improved from 2010 to 2025? If then, why we struggle for sponsors? Now we have ISL, I-League, I-League 2, I-League 3, good state leagues with telecast district leagues. Ecosystem has, Nadeem, 100% improved in the last 15 years, we struggle with sponsors because the game has not improved. The ecosystem is better. Infrastructure is better. Your management is better. Your organization of leagues, even the broadcast has become much better. It's become much easier also because of streaming and other things. But the quality of football has not grown, and that is every entity has to blame itself, starting from the AIFF, because it's not become better. And especially the blame goes to the coaches who are unwilling to take that blame, that they have not produced better players. So we've grown our youth system, but the quality has gone down dramatically. Usually sport growth is organic. People must like it. Here it seems like apart from the content creators, no one cares about football. Tom, I think there is one difference I would say from my own experience is that more people care about football than we think. But there are other sports who are forcing that growth with all these IPL style of leagues. That has not worked, And now I don't know why, but I do have a feeling that AFC in the near future might break into 2 federations like West and East. Angry Birds not happening. Here's an outrageous take. Cricket is an example of why we want to live in glory, even if it's delusion, just because we don't do well in other sport. Media doesn't highlight issues people abandon to. Very, very well said, Metantami. Very, very well said. That is, the success of cricket. I always say, let cricket be successful. I don't need to bother about it. But let India become a multi-sport country, right? Let us be successful in X number of sports, and then we can talk about other things. But here we are in a situation of that cricket is 1 to 100, then football is like 105, So, yeah. Can we say handball global sports? No. It's not a global sport. We are trying to make cricket a global sport by helping ISIS. Still, they can't reach the level in Europe and Africa. It's a long process and very expensive. Again, that's why half of Africa don't care. Forget half. Get on rare. 90% of Africa don't. Who's playing? South Africa to some extent, Zimbabwe, and Kenya. You're forcing on it, but that's Indians, right? If Arunda says he doesn't know something, that means that we are more than cooked. Yeah. We do think India is successful in hockey because of the urban legacy we carry, but India struggled in Beijing Olympics after become regular top three. Murali, you're not successful because of legacy. You're successful because of the work, right? Development work. And Odisha, yeah. So to me, yeah, because the work was done, development was done, foreign coaches were brought in, science was being used. That's why India has evolved and developed in field hockey the way it has, right, in the last few years. And otherwise, it wouldn't have. PSG could have killed the tie yesterday itself. It will be interesting to see how long Inter holds up Barca today. Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I don't know why, Arsenal looked a little. Again, it's Real Madrid. They have that energy, that vibe. They didn't have that yesterday, I felt. We see less support for football in India because simply in this current era, fans demand quality. Once a quality gets good, people will come automatically. Yeah, and that's a catch-22, right? How do you improve the quality? Let's see. Our coach education system might be old times, so without improving them and having better coaches, you might struggle. I think our coach education system is fine. It's the question what the coaches make out of it. The coach's education is something in theory, Nadeem. What I do with it on the field is that, and I've heard a lot of people always complain, oh, there's not this, there's not that. And I say, listen, if you are in a city with X number of teams, create leagues of your own. Nobody needs to know about it. Just play. Ensure that the kids are playing proper football, right? That is the most important thing. But also train the right things, because also these coaches always want to win. The success of an academy is not how many titles I have, but how many players have actually got through the system to the top. I think that is your challenge. And that is where these academies are failing. Yeah. So therefore, for me, that's the challenge. That's the challenge with the coaching that we have, especially at grassroots and youth. It is not good enough. Hi, Abhishek. Yes, it's been a while. I'm good without Indian football drama. Yeah, Abhishek, Indian football and drama, that's a topic for itself at the moment. For the quality of football to improve, we need good coaches at grassroots level. Also, quality players competing with quality players would improve. Can I say increase number of foreigners like Europe? Stephen, I would not increase the number of foreigners, to be very honest. I think the number 4 is a good number, which gives you a base structure of your spine, so to say, mainly is foreign. If you make it 5, yeah, the quality of the league improves, but one Indian player less can play. So I would always say that, nah, I wouldn't do that. How far Australia lack in quality compared to China and Japan? I don't think they lack in quality. It's just that one nation is better here, one nation is better there. Yeah. So that's it. South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, Africa, Kyrgyz is not there. In Asia, only subcontinent, South America, 0. Yeah. But Nadeem, for example, I'm hearing that I know South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Kenya. I didn't know that Nigeria, Uganda, or Namibia play cricket. So, that's an info for me. But again, can we say China also struggle with Bruce talent despite systems by then? But right now they dipped. I wouldn't say that. The problem is China is producing something, but is not producing top class. So, and China is, that's the problem, because football is a team sport and China has been more successful, I feel, if you look at team sports more in, yeah. What do Indian grassroots coaches teach? I think you have to look from case to case. I think we can't generalize. One has to look at these academies and look what they're teaching or what they're not teaching. That's one to look into. I don't think we can shame people into watching football. There is no country in the world where a particular sport is popular in which they themselves succeed. It's on Indian football to win people over. I wouldn't say that. I think a lot of countries are not good at certain sports, but they support them, right? And that's the mentality of that nation. It was said a little earlier that India likes to support success. That's a problem of the Indian psyche, right? China Inc. says Kiran Rare. Although I don't like watching, but he has an important point about our grassroots said that it's all a farce. Few minutes of games for kids, and then they say they are conducting enough matches. Yeah, but see, Baichung is at least name-wise part of the Baichung Bhutia football schools, right? Which is, first of all, a pay-to-play model. But again, if you wanted to, you could try and change it to BBFS, sorry. In Europe, England, Scotland, Ireland, Netherlands is Nadim in interactive cricket. China invested heavily, but they also didn't done that much work on grassroots. Who says that here and there? I know quite a few number of people, friends of mine, who've actually gone to China to do grassroots football or grassroots sports in general. But I find Australia players less playing at top league compared to China, Japan. Yeah, but is that the criteria, Murali? Sorry. And China also don't do naturalization of players, so they don't have advantage like Oman and all. No, they've done that. They've naturalized Brazilians in the past. So they've done that. I know Australia when we played first in AFC 2011 time. Cahill, he was scary. Those quality players, unbelievable. Munai, that's what I'm saying. Huh? It's always an up and down, or can you consistently maintain that? And that is something which in football is becoming tougher and tougher because a lot of other nations are pushing upwards. So that means that the quality at the top is getting better overall across the world. Or not the top level, but the general level is getting better, and therefore the competition is getting tougher, right? So therefore that is something that we need to keep in mind. Supporting success is ingrained in India DNA. Yeah, so I have a very valid point, because failure is not something that India likes to support. I mean, no, I read the thing yesterday about this, the young cricket boy, that he's getting prize money and all that stuff, and gifts and this and that. And where I say, what's the value of that? What is the value of that for this boy? Where I say would be more important to help grassroots programs, projects, rather than giving him something, because it's not going to change anything for Indian sport, right? So yeah, that's the thing. We cannot call ourselves sporting successful if we only try to sell our cricketing success to the world without becoming a multi-sport nation. That's also a point. Simon. Uganda and Namibia played 2024 T20 World Cup, qualified above Zimbabwe. Again, Nadeem, and this shows you how much of cricket I follow. I didn't know this fact. So again, I don't follow cricket. When Japan beat Spain and Germany, everyone's stunned. Yeah, does happen, right? Shouldn't happen, does happen. Jordan League and Jordan National Team is something I love in Asia. They're tough physically and mentally and got successful. Yeah, there's a lot of these countries. You're talking about Jordan. Look at Syria. What Syria has done despite a war, and that's the reality. So we are there where we are. As you said, the general level is improving globally. It also means that most teams will be in a stalemate position. Only those who have something extraordinary would make the cut into elite level. Yeah, or have exceptional talent, right? Exceptional talent which takes you somewhere. Again, we wouldn't be talking about Portugal if it didn't have Cristiano Ronaldo or Eusebio in the past. Norway, right? With Erling Haaland, Martin Odegaard. I mean, let's see how far they can go. So yeah. And now, does the government know what situation Indian football is in to take wholesale players' route seriously for short-term solution? What can Indian fans can do? Stephen, the Indian government is one of the reasons why we are in this mess. So therefore, I am certain that they are aware of the situation in and around the AIFF, and it's very sad to see, but that's the reality. And it's something which we are in, right? So therefore, and no, I think OCI, given also the political scenario at this moment, I don't see the Indian government being very, very open to Yeah, to doing something special. All right, 1 hour, 20 minutes plus 21 minutes, nearly 81 minutes in total. If you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, do leave a like behind. 23 so far. Thanks a lot for that. And share with other people, and subscribe to the channel. Let's grow the community. I know that, very difficult to say to grow the community, and also watch the short videos that I make. Something on the AIFF needs new capable leadership. Did something yesterday. Before that, the AIFF circus, Interkashi Churchill Brothers, the topic, other things. Watch those videos, push the channel, push it out to people if you think there's stuff which is interesting, so that we can grow. Can FIFA AFC ban a country for political issues if players federation did not commit mistake? In theory, yes. How far political issue influence to ban a country in sports? AFC, FIFA. Oh, Murali, everything is a case-to-case basic. One cannot generalize. Yes, teams with generational players will do better. Yeah, methamphetamine, that is something which is factually right. Want to see Kawasaki winning the game tonight against Al Nassr, says Guillaume Rare. Good night, methamphetamine. Gute Nacht, says Zoravar. Can India crack the tennis? A long way to go. I think we've done better in doubles. Ooh. Yeah, tennis, I think we were better. I think it's a long way to go. Gute Nacht or good night, Simon. Musa Al-Tamari and Yassin Al-Namat, Jordan quality strikers, says Nadeem. Yeah. Why did we always beat Mumbai City? I don't know, Yash Raj. We Indians underestimate Jordan, Iraq, Syria football teams. Yeah, we do. We underestimate a lot of teams. By now, I think we even underestimate Bangladesh and Nepal and Pakistan, Sri Lanka. And that's the reality. Arun Army fans. Thanks, more. I mean, guys, my thing is try and speak up about what is right. Right. So for me, that's very, very important. And Gendra, there is no stupid question. Just ask it. So therefore, it's great. And, we should all fight for what is right and what is wrong, against what is wrong. And this is where I say that. This is the only channel where I feel we talk straightforward and go for a no-nonsense approach. Keep it up. So thank you, Simon. It's me, and yeah. Therefore, any unfulfilled bucket list left on for you in sports? Oh, Murali, few things that I would like to see in life, just to see. 22 people watching, only 11 likes, guys. Likes so that it reaches more people. Thanks, Nadeem. Arun Army. Yeah, Zoravar Murali said that a while back. The legion of fans, so to say, I supposedly have. Banning Indian football was not a national news in India, and Indian government didn't take a note. It's claiming football is not priority for government. Yeah, Stephen, very right. That's the problem in this whole discussion. Do you think Ronaldo seems relevant in current football of Al Nassr? His age seems catching him a bit these days. He's but slow. Yeah, he is. From a PR perspective, I think Al Nassr without Cristiano Ronaldo would never be there where they are. So let's be clear that yes, he's very, very important. And but yeah, age will catch up at some stage, and let's see how much longer he can play for them. Daily discussions on Indian football has been quite a routine for me. Good to hear, Nadeem. Simon says to Java, you're the lieutenant of his army. Okay, thank you. Despite India not successful in football, your support is based on sentiment on India or hoping? It's a sentiment. It's a sentiment. Of course, hope is also there, but it is somewhat of a sentiment that I believe that we will, yeah, let's hope it gets better. Any special surprise for fans? Well, I don't know what I can give as a special surprise more than giving you my time, my inputs, my knowledge. I think that's my gift, so to say, live with fans very soon. Yeah, maybe could be something that can be done. Right, 1 hour and 26 minutes, 86 minutes done. Once more, the reminder: do like it, share it with people. Let more people who may be upset about what's happening in football join in our discussions. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Watch the short videos that I try and make on a daily basis, and so that's the thing. Can you do podcasts? Morally, in a way, this is, my short videos are sort of a podcast in a way, right? FIFA ban won't be big news, but Indian boys traveling to Germany, Austria gets coverage in PR with sports minister. Yeah, Roshan, that's the reality of these useless trips that are happening at the moment. Getting more coverage than real work. Only a miracle will save Indian football. So Stephen, can you do vlogs of your home team? It would be good. Morally, I don't do vlogs because that's not my thing. I do my reports, RS1 TV, if you want to watch it. Yeah. Good night, gear on rare. Get set, go. We're going all out against the AIFF and exposing their loopholes, says Simon. With that, I'll come to an end for today. Catch you tomorrow, and let's see tomorrow, next hearing in the Delhi High Court. Let's see what next disaster is awaiting. What happens.